Hello, this is Tina. Welcome to my channel, The Transformation of Tina. And typically on my show, I talk about my experience with compounded tirzepatide. Mainly, that's what I talk about. And I'll also be talking about some other changes that I'll be making in my life as I approach 40. Okay, so today's video is going to be about starting out on a GLP1. If you are interested in starting on a GLP1 medication, like tirzepatide or semaglutide, I don't know why it was so hard for me to get that out. You know, like Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, If you're interested in something like that, I have a few things that you might want to think about before you actually start. Okay. First, well, I don't really know that this should be first, but I put it first because I think it's fairly important. You have to think about the cost. You have to think about the cost of the medication. You have to think about how you're going to get it. Just because most, I don't want to say most, but some insurances are not covering this medication. So you have to determine, one, if your insurance will cover it, and two, if your insurance won't cover it, how will you get it? So cost is pretty high up on the list. Yes, that's all I got. So you'll just have to look at your insurance coverage, look at your prescription coverage, and see what your insurance will pay for. Some people's insurance previously paid for it and is no longer paying for it. And we're at the beginning of the year, so you probably haven't met your deductible yet. So just look at your insurance coverage and see if it offers weight loss medication as an option for you. Next in line with the cost is where. Where will you get your medicine from? Are you going to talk with your primary care physician, or are you going to get it from a wellness spa, or a telehealth provider, or a compounding pharmacy, or like a regular pharmacy or mail order? So you just have to figure out where you're going to get it. Or are you going to go gray? I don't really talk about gray that much on this channel because I don't really know anything about that. But just for people who don't know what gray is, it's basically when you get the peptide in powder form and you constitute it yourself. Some people don't recommend that because some people are using peptides that are marked as for research purposes only. So there comes with a little bit of risk tolerance there. But I won't really get deep into that because I don't really know much about that. But if you go on Reddit, you'll find those people if that's something that you're interested in. Now, I'm not telling you to go on Reddit to find them, but I'm just saying you can probably find more info over there. I just don't really have anything to share in regards to that. Next, you have to determine if you are willing to make a long-term commitment to this. When I originally broached the subject with my primary care physician about being on a weight loss medication, she was talking about how, I think my question was like, well, how do I get off? And she was like, oh, well, you won't have to get off. They are, I don't want to say pushing it, the medicine, but they're making it seem that this is a long-term commitment, that you'll always have to be on the medicine, that there was no reason for you to ever go off the medicine. I'm not sure exactly. I don't really think my primary care physician had any dog in the fight because I ultimately told her my insurance wasn't going to cover it. So that's okay. She didn't have to write me the prescription. I tried something else. I tried phentermine first. But I don't know. I don't know why they want you to be on it all the time. Is it because they're really just trying to make money off of it and they get you hooked for life? Or is there like some other reason? I'm nowhere near close to maintenance, but there are some people that are close to maintenance who spread their doses out or who eventually wean themselves off. So that might be something to look into in the future, or maybe try to find some people who've been on it for a little while to see how they're handling it. Everybody seems to be handling maintenance different. Some people are like microdosing. Some people are just spreading the doses out further and further. Some people titrate down. Some people stay at the top dose, but just take it. Like it's multiple ways that people are doing maintenance. I'm not sure if Lily is doing more research on that, but you just have to think about, are you ready to possibly have to take this medicine for years to come? Some people may be willing to do that and look at it as a trade. Like if I don't have to take blood pressure medicine or cholesterol medicine or all of these medicines anymore and I just have to take a shot a week, some people are willing to make that trade. But that's for you and your medical professional to decide. But mainly you, if this is something that you want to do long term. The other thing to consider is side effects. My side effects haven't really been that bad, but I'm just on the 7.5 milligrams, and this is just my first week of that. But for the most part, my side effects haven't been that bad. I had a little bit of nausea, maybe like in the beginning, but my main and then I occasionally get fatigue, but the main side effect that I feel that I experienced is constipation. I think that's the main thing that's really been bothering me, but even that can be managed with fiber and stool softeners and magnesium. So you just have to decide if you're willing to put up with side effects. Some people get really bad side effects. Some people don't get as bad side effects. It's kind of one of those personal things. The only thing that I can tell you about mitigating your side effects is to decide when is a good time for you to take your medicine. Like, when will you be able to take your medicine and possibly rest, maybe like on an off day or something like that, to get your body acclimated. So I think that's going to be something that is personal to you. You'll just really have to play around with the medicine and see what timeline works best for you. I think when I first started the shot, I started it on a Monday. But now I take it on Friday nights. So that's that. Okay. Next. Weight loss. That's another thing. Everybody has different experiences on this medicine. And I can't even get my words together. You have to be prepared that you might not be I forgot you're over here. You have to be prepared that you might not be a hyper responder or super responder. You might be a slow responder or no responder. So some people, I feel that there are a lot of people, I feel that, I don't want to be mean, but I feel that hyper responders are the people who get a lot of attention online. and they say, oh, I dropped 15 pounds in a week. I dropped, 30 pounds in a month. And people see that and people cling to that. And sometimes they get upset when they don't get those results, So I just want you to be cognizant that you could get on this medication and spend all of this money and not necessarily lose a lot of weight, or the weight won't come off quickly. There is a chance that you might be a person that's only losing like half a pound a week. If that. There may be a chance you may be a person who might actually gain weight. So I just want you to be cognizant, because you see a lot of people posting their photos of how they lost so much weight, but that might not be you. So you just have to determine if slower weight loss is still worth it to you. And some people it's not. I participate in, well, I don't really participate because I don't really post as much, but I'm in a few Facebook GLP1 groups, and every other day you find a post where somebody's like, I spent $500 and I've only lost 3 pounds this month, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. Sorry, I went into that voice. I don't know, and I can't afford this. And I understand that. I totally understand not being able to afford it. And I understand slow weight loss too. I totally understand that. But you have to decide for you if you're going to be willing to stick it out. Some people, it's taken them like 2 years to lose 100 pounds. It's taken them 18 months to get to goal. I mean, there are some people who didn't have really as much to lose, or were like hyper responders and was able to lose it within the first 3 to 6 months. But there are a large sum of people who have been working on weight loss for years. So you just have to really determine if the cost analysis, breakdown, benefit is really worth it to you. So you have to determine if you're willing to stick it out to get the weight loss. So I'm just letting you know now. I don't want you to start it and then come back 3 months from now like, I've only lost 10 pounds. And I would say, that's good. That's good that you lost 10 pounds. But don't be surprised if it doesn't come off as fast as you want it to come off. That's all I'm saying. Just come into the situation eyes wide open. That there is a smaller group of people that are slow or no responders. Okay, and the very last thing that I want to talk about is support. Now, support is a tricky one, because your friends and family, spouse may not be supportive of you using this medication. There are a lot of people who feel strongly about the weight of other people. And I don't want to say that they don't have the best of intentions, because some of them might. But I will say, sometimes this process may be, I don't want to say lonely, but this process may be trying. I think you have to look at it in terms of what your overall goals are. If your overall goals are to get your weight off and have a better quality of life, then you should most definitely do this. But if you are someone who may be saddened that your family and friends and your loved ones and the people that you typically support are not supporting you, then you might want to think twice about this. It just really depends on your personality and your disposition. Some people may notice that you're no longer the fat friend, and they may not like that dynamic. You've been friends for 15 or 20 years, and you've always been the fat friend, and now you're not the fat friend anymore. Maybe they're feeling a type of way. Or maybe it's your husband who's angry that you guys have to pay for this medicine out of pocket, and he doesn't have money to do the things that he wants to do. Or maybe it's a well-meaning parent or elder family member who thinks that you should just exercise and eat right. Or maybe it's the random person on the internet who has something to say and it's all under your pictures and all in the comments. I don't know what it could be. It could be any of these things, but you really have to decide for yourself, am I okay being out here alone? Now, you're not truly alone because there will be people in your life who will be supportive of you. There are Facebook groups, there are TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers. The world is full of many people, and they will cheer you on along the way. But it may be a little bit uncomfortable if the people that are closest and nearest and dearest to you don't really support you in the way that you feel that they should. So you just really have to decide if you're willing to possibly go this alone. You can take one of two approaches. You can talk to your family and your friends beforehand and get their opinion if that's what you're into, or you can choose to not discuss it because you kind of know how they are and you're just going to do what you want to do anyway. I know, sometimes people, I don't want to say that they're jealous of you, but some people like having something to hold over your head. And if you have a weight problem, it's not something that can be as easily hid as other problems. So people in your life may like the fact that you have a weight problem, and they use that as something that they can hold against you. Like, oh, she has a problem. She has a self-control problem. Or maybe they just like making you the butt of their jokes. Oh, look at her. I'm not going to go in because if you're a lifelong obese person, you already know what I'm talking about. So you just have to decide what is best for you as far as support is concerned. Or it may be something simple like, oh, well, I made dinner. Why aren't you eating dinner? Are you sure that's all you're going to eat? Why don't you want to eat these fried pork chops that I made? Why don't you want to have some fried chicken? Why are you only eating the child's portion? So just be prepared that people may question you, people may not fully support you. But ultimately, like the TV show, there's only one life. You only got one life to live. So you have to determine what you're okay with accepting. And if the people are unsupportive, I'm not telling you to divorce your husband, but maybe you might need to ditch an extra 200 pounds and find someone who is more supportive of you. No, I would never tell you to leave your mate, but you can find support in all types of ways. And if this is really bothering you, that people in your life might not be as supportive as you would want them to be, you should seriously have a conversation with them. And hopefully you guys can get together on the same page. Sometimes something looks like non-support, but it could also just be fear. So sometimes you just need to sit and talk with everyone and kind of let them know, especially maybe if you're living in the household with them, there are some things that you might not be able to hide, and you should just be forthcoming with them. But I am no therapist, so if things get too heavy for you, then maybe you should seek mental health services. So I think I made this video a little bit longer than it needed to be, but unfortunately, I just tend to talk a bit much at times. However, if you are interested and you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to click the subscribe button and like and share and comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and we will talk again later.